We like the way the world is turning. Something inside is always yearning, yearning for a brand new world. People everywhere are so confused. We just don't know what to do or how we want a brand new world. Though we send rockets to the moon and the stars, and though we make ships and planes that go very far, there's not a mountain that man hasn't climbed, but a brand new world we can never find. If you want a brand new world, gotta have a brand new people. If you want a brand new people, you gotta have a brand new life. Oh, if you want a brand new life, you gotta have a brand new spirit. If you want a brand new spirit, you gotta come with Jesus Christ. People were trying everything they could, but I wonder if they ever would find themselves a brand new world. An old man sitting in the barroom door still can't find what he's searching for. Oh, how he wants a brand new world. A brand new world begins with me and you, but we'll never find it in the things that we do. Jesus promised a world that's our own, and he invites us to come along. If you want a brand new world, you gotta have a brand new people. If you want a brand new people, you gotta have a brand new life. Oh, if you want a brand new life, you gotta have a brand new spirit. If you want a brand new spirit, you gotta come to Jesus Christ. Oh, if you want a brand new world, you gotta have a brand new people. If you want a brand new people, you gotta have a brand new life. Oh, if you want a brand new life, you gotta have a brand new spirit.
सैबत दिन आप सभी को मुबारक हो। मैं आप सभी को इस सप्ताह का हमारा वेस्पर्स के भाग में स्वागत करना चाहती हूँ। जहाँ से आप देख रहे हैं, जिस प्लेटफॉर्म से आप देख रहे हैं, आप सभी को एक हार्दिक स्वागत जाता है। मास्टर्स वेलकम जाता है पवित्र आत्मा को, जो हमारे संग इस कार्यक्रम भर रहेगा। जैसे हम हर सप्ताह देखते हैं, इस सप्ताह भी यहाँ पर हम कई मसीह गीत सुनेंगे, वेस्पर्स का भाग रहेगा, आत्मिक भोजन रहेगा, हेल्थ टॉक रहेगा और प्रार्थना भी रहेगा। तो मैं आशा करती हूँ कि आप इंजॉय करें, और अगर आप कर रहे हो तो जरूर शेयर कीजिए लोगों से। तो आप सभी दिल थाम के बैठे, क्योंकि हम इस कार्यक्रम का अगला गीत में भाग लेंगे।
to talk about a sad subject. You know that I usually share good news, but sometimes it seems impossible to find something good in tragedy. The world was shocked and heartbroken by the earthquake in Syria and Turkey. But is there anything good or positive happening in all this? See it now here on ANN. The earthquake took everyone by surprise. Just before dawn, an earthquake measuring 7.8 on the Richter scale struck southern Turkey and northwestern Syria. After more than 10 days, the death toll stands at 37,000 people, not counting the tens of thousands injured. According to the World Health Organization, this is Europe's worst natural disaster in a century.
Şu an deprem meydana geliyor. Şu an gördüğünüz gibi deprem meydana geldi şu anda.
In addition to pray, ADRA sent personnel, medicine, and aid to the earthquake site. The Adventist Relief Agency distributes food, water, clothing, and essential supplies. This NGO helps shelter displaced families and implement water, sanitation, and hygiene projects. The relief organization is working in collaboration with the Adventist Church, local government leaders, and trusted partners to ensure that aid and resources reach the affected communities. I interviewed Rafael Porto, a Brazilian who has been living in Antalya, Turkey for 8 years. Rafael decided to go to the epicenter of the earthquake to help people.
Eu moro numa cidade chamada Antalya.
I live in a city called Antalya, 10 hours away from the earthquake epicenter. We felt the quake, the bed began to move, but our city was not affected.
Não tivemos nenhuma perda, nenhum dano para a cidade. Eu estou agora em Adana.
I am now in Adana. Every day we go to the area of the earthquake epicenter. We were also in the city of Hatay in Antakya, which for us is Antioch. That is the city most affected by the earthquake. In that city, I could not find any building that was not affected or damaged. In the last few days, we have gone to this area to help people.
As últimas pessoas que ainda estão embaixo dos escombros.
What is ADRA doing to help people?
Nós estamos conseguindo materiais que aqui na
We are receiving much needed supplies that do not exist here in Turkey, such as tents and heaters. Other materials that we need, we are buying here in Turkey. We are also helping with distribution, contacting the mayor's office when needed, and working with the local authorities.
as autoridades locais para ajudar no que eles precisam. A cidade de Antáquia.
The city of Antakya, Antioch for us, was the most affected city. We were there yesterday, more than a week after the earthquake, and the situation is dire. The city is destroyed. All the buildings are destroyed. The rescue teams are still working to find people. Some that they find are alive, but most are dead. A strong, rotten smell exists. The smell of death is very strong. The situation is too sad. They are still rescuing some people there. The city appears to be the victim of a war. The feeling I had when I was in the city was that an atomic bomb had just been dropped because nothing is left.
Bomba atômica foi jogada ali, porque não sobrou nada.
Do you see any signs of hope in people, or are they completely without hope?
Não, todas
We have met doctors, army personnel, and others from various organizations in Turkey. Everyone is helping the last people who are still under the rubble.
é olhar de muito mais compaixão, de muito mais
All the people that I encountered on the street, military, medical personnel, or homeless, are all trying to help each other. There is compassion, love, and much more empathy from people, including those that work at gas stations or stores. They all want to help. It's a great feeling to know that we are all together. The help we give seems like a drop in the ocean, but it means everything to those who receive it. We know an Adventist lady who was at the epicenter. She received a blanket and told us that this blanket was the best gift she had ever received in her life. It's a very cold region and it is snowing right now in some places. She said that the blanket made all the difference in her life. One blanket. The help from ADRA and the government may seem like a drop in the ocean, but it means a lot to those who receive it.
Our heartfelt thanks go to these ordinary people who have become giants, doing the impossible so that suffering and pain can be lessened. Our deep respect goes to these heroes who have stepped out of their comfort zone and put themselves at risk to help others. Keep praying for so many who suffer, and please, please help ADRA to continue helping millions of people worldwide. Stay safe and God bless.
Are you tired of chasing pretty rainbows? Are you tired of spinning round and round? Wrap up all the shattered dreams of your life. At the feet of Jesus, lay them down. Give them all, give them all, give them all to Jesus. Shattered dreams, wounded hearts, broken toys. Give them all, give them all, give them all to Jesus, and He will turn your sorrows into joy. He never said you'd only see sunshine. Sunshine. He never said there'd be no pain. He only promised a heart full of singing. Singing. For the very reason that once brought pain. Give them all, give them all, give them all to Jesus. Shattered dreams, wounded hearts, broken toys. Give them all, give them all, give them all to Jesus, and He will turn your sorrows into joy. Give them all, give them all, give them all to Jesus. Shattered dreams, wounded hearts, broken toys. Give them all, give them all, give them all to Jesus, and He will turn your sorrows into joy, and He will turn your sorrows into joy.
conflict, that is, discord between two or more entities, is expensive. Conflicts can range from minor differences of opinion to contentious, cataclysmic disputes that include mob action or wars. It can include generational conflict as families pass down vendettas from one generation to the next. In the home, conflict contributes to stress, unhappiness, illness, addictions, divorce, violence, and even murder. In schools and churches, it burns out personnel, triggers arguments and misunderstandings, and can also escalate into violence and bloodshed. In the workplace, conflict increases stress, drains personnel, contributes to higher rates of absenteeism and workers' comp claims that trim profits from the bottom line. As of 2021, estimates are that managers spend at least 25% of their time resolving workplace conflicts, one of the biggest challenges companies, managers, and employees face. Estimates are that 70% of contributors to conflict involve your own past, your past experiences, and the resulting impact on your response in the present moment. Conflict typically reflects low levels of emotional intelligence, or EQ. High EQ skills help you realize that you are under no obligation to accept an invitation to an argument. That in itself can help to minimize, if not avoid, situations of conflict. EQ skills help you decide when to walk away from a situation because the likelihood of resolving the conflict is slim to none. High EQ allows you to share your brain's opinion as honestly and graciously as possible, and then remain healthfully indifferent to whether your opinion or recommendation is even taken. After all, the opinions of others are none of your business. This helps you evade badgering others to embrace your perspective and burning bridges that may not be repairable. Of all the problems people experience in life, an estimated 50% are of their own making, based on their thoughts and choices. Imagine dumping at least half of all your problems off the back of your lifetime pickup truck. Overall, EQ skills can help you avoid making serious and sometimes permanent life-impactful decisions based on temporary emotions and feelings. To live out your days in conflict is expensive. Countering discord with high EQ skills is worth its weight in gold.
Hare
to you today about the God who closes the doors. We all know about the God that opens the doors. We've seen Him give us favor, good breaks, promotion. That's the hand of God opening the door. But the same God that opens the doors will close doors. So often we get discouraged. We kind of feel like God has let us down. But God can see the big picture of your life. God knows where every road is leading. He knows the dead ends. He can see around the corner. To us, it looks great. What we can't see is there's danger. There's heartache, trouble up ahead. God knows the roads that are a big circle. We can go around for years and end up right back where we started, never making any progress. A big part of faith is trusting God when you don't understand it. On the surface, it looks perfect. You can't see any reason why it shouldn't work out. But God can see 1,000 things that we cannot see. God may close the door because you're believing too small. If He opened it, it would limit what He wants to do in your life. When a door closes, you don't know what God is saving you from. If your prayers don't get answered the way you want, instead of being discouraged, feeling like God let you down, why don't you have a bigger perspective? The reason the door is closed is because God has something better in store. If God wanted you to have that promotion, you would have gotten it. Shake it off and move forward. There is something better coming. If God wanted that person to stay in your life, then He would have stayed. Shake it off. The right people are in your future. Dear viewers, the closed doors are not an accident. You may not understand it now. To you, it looks like the opportunity of a lifetime just passed you by. But one day, you will look back and thank God for the closed doors. Because if God hadn't closed the door, you wouldn't have met the right person. Or if God hadn't closed the door, you wouldn't have gotten stuck at one level and not seen the amazing favor that God has in your life. I used to get excited about my open doors and really down about my closed doors. Now I thank God for my closed doors just as much as I do about my open doors. I want you to come to this place where you have such a trust in God. You are so confident that He is directing your steps. You say like David, God, my life is in your hands. If a door closes and you don't get your way, you don't get upset. Your attitude is, I know this door didn't close by accident. God closed it on purpose, and what He closes, I don't want to open. I don't want my way. I want His way. He knows what's best. He can see what I can't see. God, not my will, but yours be done. That's a very freeing way to live. When you really believe God is in complete control, it takes all the pressure off. Few years ago, my uncle came to our city for a big job interview. He was so excited about it. It was a top position at one of the largest companies in the city. It looked great, like a golden opportunity, a huge boost to his career. He was ready to give up his position of nearly 30 years and move his family here. He came to the service and asked us to pray over this big interview. We prayed that God would give him favor and cause him to stand out. In a few days, he called and he was on cloud 9. Everything went great. It looked very promising. Several weeks went by and they invited him back for a second interview. He did the same thing. He came by the church, we prayed for favor, promotion, on and on. After talking with him several hours, the company called him back in and said, "We really like you. You're so talented. We just don't feel like you're the right fit for our organization." It was like the air out of his balloon. He came to the service like he had lost his last friend. He looked 20 years older. He was so discouraged. He said, "I don't understand it. I prayed, I believed. How could God let this happen?" We told him what I'm telling you. The same God that opens doors will close doors. You just have to trust Him. You may not understand it now, But one day, you'll understand it. One day, you'll thank God that you didn't get that position. A couple of years later, he showed up smiling from ear to ear, and he said, God knew what he was doing. He told us how that company was in bankruptcy. Thousands of people were being laid off. It was a big mess all over the news. The whole company ended up shutting down. Here's how good God is. He was less than 2 years away from retirement at the other company. If he would have gotten that position, he would not only be out of a job right now, but he would have lost nearly 30 years of his retirement benefits. God knows what he is doing. Don't be discouraged by your closed doors. If God wants a door to open, you can be certain it will be. All the forces of darkness cannot stop it. What I want you to see is when you pray, you believe. You stand in faith, and the door doesn't open, take it as a sign from God. It's not his best. Here's the question. Will you stay in faith while you wait to see what God is up to? Will you not get discouraged and start complaining? Trust God with your life. He knows what he is doing. Join me after this short break as we continue our journey to understand why God closes some of our doors.
Bigger than all my problems, bigger than all my fears. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my questions, bigger than anything. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all the shadows that fall across my path. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all the confusion, bigger than anything. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my problems, bigger than all my fears. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my questions, bigger than anything. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all the giants of fear and unbelief. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my headlocks, bigger than anything. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my problems, bigger than all my fears. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my questions, bigger than anything. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my problems, bigger than all my fears. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. Bigger than all my questions, bigger than anything. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see. God is bigger than any mountain that I can or cannot see.
Welcome back, dear viewers. When you want something so badly, you don't think you can live without it, you try to force it to happen. God is so merciful. If it's not his best, he is not going to answer that prayer. He loves you too much to open that door. Why don't you trust him? He wants you to fulfill your destiny more than you do. He is in complete control. When you come to a closed door, that is a test to your faith. Are you going to be bitter, live in self-pity, give up on your dreams? Or are you going to move forward, knowing that God is still in control? If you pass the test, God will release what He has in your future. And many times it will be exactly what you're praying for. God will bring that person back, or He will bring an opportunity or that dream to pass. God just wants to see, do you trust Him enough to be happy even if it doesn't happen your way? That's what happened to Abraham. God instructed him to put his own son on the altar, the thing that meant the most to him. Just when Abraham was going to harm him, God said, "No, Abraham, don't do it. I just wanted to see if you trusted me enough to give me your own son." Abraham passed the test. And what happened? God gave him back what he really wanted, the thing that meant most to him. When you face a disappointment, a closed door, your plans don't work out and you keep a good attitude, you stay in faith, you are passing the test. That's what allows God to give you back what you really want the most. Proverbs 20 verse 24 says, "Since the Lord is directing our steps, why do we try to figure out everything that happens along the way?" Some of you today could get free if you could just quit trying to figure out everything. God, why did I go through that breakup? I'm a good person. God, why did they sell that property out from under us? No, if you're trying to figure everything out, all that is going to do is make you more confused. Let it go and move forward. God can see things that you cannot see. It might not make sense right now, but one day when God's whole plan unfolds, you will see what God is up to. A part of trusting is saying, "God, I don't understand it. It doesn't seem fair. But God, I believe that my steps and my stops are ordered by you. I know just as you can open my doors, you will close doors. So I'm going to keep a good attitude. I'm going to move forward in faith, knowing that you have my best interest at heart." The scripture says in Corinthians, "Now we see in part like looking through a glass dimly, but one day we will see clearly face to face." Right now, notice you can't see it all clearly. You're only looking at it in a part. But one day, it will come into focus and you'll look back and say, "Wow, God, you're amazing. You had it all figured out, all lined up. You closed the door on purpose, so your perfect will would be done." Remember, you're not really trusting if you're only going to be happy if it happens your way. Put it on the altar. "God, this is what I want, but not my will. Let your will be done." If you'll have this perspective and not only thank God for your open doors, but thank Him just as much for your closed doors, then like Abraham, you'll pass the test. I believe and declare you'll see the exceedingly abundantly above and beyond future that God has in store. Thank you for listening. Keep enjoying our program and have a blessed week.
क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, "ये प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए।" क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, "ये प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए।" हे जग के मुझको चाहने वालों, हे जग के मुझको चाहने वालों, तुमने मुझे क्यों छोड़ दिया? क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा कि प्यासा खुदा से दुआ ये किया, सबके गुनाहों के लिए मसीह ने खुदा से दुआ ये किया।
इनके गुनाहों को तू माफ कर दे, इनके गुनाहों को तू माफ कर दे, जो कुछ उन्होंने किया। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, ये प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, ये प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए।
पिता ने जो हम पर अनुग्रह किया है, वो तुझ में रहकर मसीह। पिता ने जो हम पर अनुग्रह किया है, वो तुझ में रहकर मसीह।
पूरा हुआ वचन वो खुदा का, पूरा हुआ वचन वो खुदा का, क्रूस पर जो तूने किया। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, ये प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, ये प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए।
हे परमेश्वर, हे जग के यीशु, स्तुति करेंगे सदा। हे परमेश्वर, हे जग के यीशु, स्तुति करेंगे सदा।
गुनाहों की कीमत जो तू अदा कर, गुनाहों की कीमत जो तू अदा कर, खुदा से मिला दिया। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, कि प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, ये प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए।
हे जग के मुझको चाहने वालों, हे जग के मुझको चाहने वालों,
तुमने मुझे क्यों छोड़ दिया। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, कि प्यासा तुम्हारे लिए। क्रूस पर यीशु ने कहा, कि प्यासा तुम्हारे